revamping, course correction. What are we going to talk about in this video? Today I want to talk a little bit about and share some of the things I've learned, and I hope you can learn too, about being flexible, revamping, and course correcting when we're trying to move toward a goal or an objective. Today is day 244 of What's She Up To Now. By the way, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, but you can call me Pajama Grandma. In case we haven't met yet, go and put hashtag pajama in the comments below so I know it's the first time you're being exposed to the Pajama Grandma. But revamping, course correction, being flexible, being open-minded, going with the flow of what happens in your environment is so critical when you're growing your business. I guess, and I call it supersizing your business, when you're going from where you are to where you want to be. And usually where we want to be is at a higher level. And it might not just be a financial level higher. It might just be having an impact on more people perspective. And as I'm going through a process of analyzing 30 different really successful people's business strategies and what they would do if they lost everything, I'm finding that it's a good time for me to go through the entire process again as well and ask myself, what if I lost everything? What would I do to rebuild? Now, I've actually done that several times before in my life and career, so I've got a lot of practice at it. But I've never sat down and really thought about, well, what is the exact process that I would go through day 1, day 2, day 3 for 30 days to get momentum on myself and to get awesome results. So I'm actually going through and mapping out a strategy for other people to use, and I'm doing it too because I find I don't like to ask other people to do things that I'm not willing to do myself. So I make sure I go through the same process as well. So I come up with a daily action item each day for people to do, because by the end of the 30 days, then you have built out your own customized 30-day fast action strategy that you can use anytime to do a course correction or to revamp what you're doing. So yesterday we were talking about, and it was just a quick question, do you have a list? Do you have customers? Do you have a group of people that you serve that you have a list of and a way to contact them? Maybe it's a mailing list, maybe it's phone numbers, maybe it's a written down list, maybe it's an email list. But do you have a collection of your past and present customers? The vast majority of people are going to say no to that, and I get that. That's absolutely awesome, but we want to make sure we correct that and start getting you that contact list. Again, whether it's phone numbers, it depends on the type of business that you run, or emails or messenger bot lists or whatever it is for you and that's appropriate for you. We want to make sure that you start building that from day one. And that requires that you know kind of what you want to do, at least what market area you want to work with and what type people that you want to work with. But it doesn't have to be detailed yet. So as I'm going through this, of course, I'm finding the same thing that I find with a lot of my coaching students, that we've missed a really important critical piece of the process that you need to grow and supersize your business along the way. And you can't ever really skip it. At some point in your progress, you're going to butt up against it because you're going to have a challenge or something that you have to face that you can't overcome until you go back and do that step. So let me give you an example of that. Say I start making widgets. I hate the widget example, but everyone in engineering always uses the widget example because a widget can be anything and it's easy for people to relate to. So let's say we're going to manufacture magnifying glasses. We just decided magnifying glasses are cool, and so we're going to make them and we're going to sell them to people. But we just design and come up with our idea of what we think is the perfect magnifying glass. It's black, it's got a soft surface, it's got lights on it, it's this size, whatever. We decide everything about it and we create it, we manufacture it, we start making them, and then we go look for people to sell it to. Now that's the hardest way to actually create a successful product and to create a successful business, is by just deciding what we're going to do unilaterally, what we want to provide, and then going out and trying to find the people that serves. Now, maybe no one on the planet needs a magnifying glass but me. If that's the case, then all of the work and all the time and all the energy that I've spent developing that product is for naught, because I'm never going to sell any. I've already got my one prototype that works for me and nobody else wants it. Or it's so hard to find the people that want it that it's not profitable. It doesn't make any business sense whatsoever. And maybe you could just then donate them to people that need them. I mean, not blind people, but people with eyes like me that need them. But you're not going to make a living off of it. You're not going to make a business off of it. Versus if we find a group of people that we want to serve, know what their problems are, and that we have solutions to them, and then give them those solutions and sell them those solutions, it's a much easier model to follow and an easier format. So if we have never decided who we're going to serve as a business or as a company, at some point we're going to have to go back and pick someone and pick a person or a group and start talking to that group first. Now we're going to expand upon that group. I think people's biggest fear is, my product's for everybody. I don't want to miss out on sales because I'm only selling my magnifying glass to teachers or to lawyers or legal assistants because they have to do all that little legal work and detail lookup things, or accountants because they have to look at numbers all day. I don't know, and receipts, and they have to be able to read. That's where I really started using magnifying glasses, was reading receipts for my business and trying to do my taxes. So that's why that's my example. But whatever it is, if you miss a piece like that, if you don't decide, what's another one that I'm always having people go back to? But the biggest one I'm always having people go back to is, who do you want to work with and who do you want to serve? Who is your ideal client? Because otherwise we end up with a business that's filled with, it might be a super successful business, but it's filled with people that we don't love working with, that we don't want to serve. I found that in the real estate industry. I was in a part of the business that was, I call it soul sucking. So that tells you how I felt about it. But it wasn't good for me. And it's because I wasn't serving the right type of clients. So the real estate industry is awesome, but it's depending on what piece of it combines and mixes well with your values, your core beliefs, what you want to do to help people. And the part of it that we were doing to help people just was really sad and uncomfortable for me. And so I didn't like that. I loved serving people and being able to get them results and success, but I didn't like the process leading up to getting them the results and the success. So it wasn't really the people I didn't want to serve. It was the people I had to work with in service to the people I ultimately wanted to serve. So really all I needed to do was find what's a different way I can serve that end group of people I love serving, and cut out the whole group of people that I didn't want to interact with in that process of serving those people and meeting their needs. What was another problem I could solve and help them with that didn't involve me having to work with this entire group of people? And I'm talking about loss mitigators and banks and lenders. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Not a wonderful group of people to interact with on a daily basis. Very soul-sucking. Very rude, very unprofessional, and very soul-sucking. I'm sure there's awesome ones, but I didn't find very many. And I loved them when I did. The one or two that I found in the 5 years that we did that, yeah, definitely didn't make up for the thousands I talked to that were not very nice people. So my whole point of that diatribe is that at some point, you'll throw your magnifying glass on the floor. You'll have to go back and do the key components of the process of growing a business that you missed. There's no way to skip them forever if you're going to grow and supersize your business. So today I am actually going back, and as a result of what I've learned from this challenge and studying other people's strategies, is that I need to go back and really, really pare down my offer. I was guilty of offering absolutely everything I thought people that want to supersize their business would want. And as I was creating it, I was like, this is so much. This is so much. This is so much information that it's overwhelming. And if I'm thinking that, and I created it and I've been through it, then I know with 100% certainty that I need to simplify it and take out the most important critical piece of it and just focus on that to begin with. And once people get that and do the framework, then all the other pieces will fall into place. And I can offer them more of what they need when they need it. It's all about them versus me creating it up front and just throwing it all out there and seeing what sticks. And when things aren't sticking, it's time to make a course correction and revamp what you're doing. And so that's exactly what I'm doing. Today, I'm also doing an interview, and I'm working with somebody whose podcast I was on who does testimonials for people. They help them to collect their testimonials and present them in a decent way and capture them in things, because I am horrible at capturing testimonies and doing anything with them. I don't do anything with them hardly at all. So I want to learn the right way to capture people's stories, because I have been able to help people. So I want to be able to share that information with other people. And that's one thing I've learned as through studying the 30 days worth of people. What would you do if you had to start all over again? Almost all of them mentioned the power of getting results for other people and then capturing those as testimonials and sharing that social proof with other people, so that people know that they can trust you and that you can actually solve their problem without you telling them you can solve their problem. Because I can tell you I can solve your problem and you're not going to believe me. But if Ross and Audie and Bree and Jake and Mike and Sandy and Tom and Kathy and Sue all have a different story of how I've helped them and the results, heavy emphasis on the results that I've helped them to achieve, now you're more likely to say, huh, if she's helped all those people, maybe she can help me. Maybe I should get on a call with her and see what she's got to say. So that's it. That's what I'm working on today. I want to wish you a fantastic day. Go out, do something awesome. And if you have to revamp or take a step back and look at what you're doing, take a step back, pay attention to it, and move forward with more momentum, because you know you're on the right track and you're getting people exactly what they want. That's it. Have a fantastic day. I will see you tomorrow with day 245 of What's She Up To Now, as I transition from the offline brick and mortar world of real businesses to the online world, and how I bridge the gap between businesses as they want to do the same. Because there's a whole lot of offline businesses out there that could really, really benefit and supersize their business by having an online component. That's it. Talk soon. Bye.